Gaming is supposed to be a time where you can relax. Most people have had a long day at work or school or whatever the hell they do, and they'll come home to chill out and play some games. Hunt Showdown says a massive screw you to those kind of people. Hunt is unforgiving, it is brutal, it is hard, and it will eat you up and spit you out if you do not take it seriously enough. Hunt is incredible, but why? Well, join me as we explore Hunt Showdown and the power of stress in gaming. So first things first, what is Hunt? I'll give you a very brief rundown. If you already know how Hunt works and don't want to hear me tell you again, then you can just skip to the time on screen now. Hunt is a game where 12 people, usually in teams of 2, are dropped onto a map with one primary objective. Extract with the bounty. Sounds simple, right? The concept on its own is easy enough to wrap your head around, but this game is far from simple. You've got to break the game down into 3 stages, so that's what we're going to do. Broadly speaking anyway, I'm not going into too much detail in this section. You drop in and there will usually be 2 bosses on the map. In order to find them, you must use your dark sight to locate clues, which will eventually lead you to the boss. Although, there are 12 players, and usually 6 teams, that are all also doing the exact same thing, so it's likely you will run into them. Hunt is a game where most weapons will kill you in 2 shots, and every weapon is a 1-shot kill with a headshot. Moreover, when you die, not only are you eliminated from the game, you lose your hunter, and will have to start again with fresh gear and no perks. Now, it's the second phase. You've found the boss. Time to kill it. I'll move on to sound later on, but if you just go all guns blazing to kill the thing, everybody will hear you, and will close in on your location. So much like the rest of the game, you'll have to find the perfect balance between killing it quietly and killing it quickly, as you don't have all day. At the time of recording there are 4 bosses. There's the spider, which runs around horrifyingly fast and can poison you, the crow thing that's called the scrap beak, I believe, that charges quickly and deploys barbed wire to prevent you from getting into a comfortable routine. There's the bug thing, which is called the assassin, that sprinkles into tiny insects and runs away before morphing into a person with sharp weapons and inflicting bleeding damage. Then there's the pig thing, the butcher, which I can't tell you that much about. I am prestige 1 level 40 something at the moment, and I have fought this thing like 5 times. All I know is that it seems resistant to fire, but that's about all I have. I can't believe I barely come across it. But anyways, you kill it and then start the banishing, which tells everybody in the game exactly where you are, and you must defend the bounty for a couple of minutes. Once that's done, we enter the final and most intense phase of the game, the extraction. When you have the bounty, everybody in the game will know where you are, but you will also get 5 seconds worth of wall hacks to see nearby enemies. You must reach an extraction point and leave the game. So that's how the game works, but what makes it so stressful? Firstly, there's the big elephant in the room, Perma Death. If you die in this game, you lose everything that your hunter had. You can usually buy their weapons and equipment back, so this isn't too much of an issue money-wise, but the main one is the perks that you lose. Perks are a vital part of being good at this game. There are perks such as getting revived with 100 health, reviving teammates through walls, improving your stamina, taking extra melee damage, reducing weapon weight. All of these perks are pretty much vital, and you're at a major disadvantage without them. So the stakes are already high, but what makes it even worse is how easy it is to die. As I mentioned earlier, 2 shots or 1 headshot and you're dead. This means that if an enemy team get the drop on you, you're pretty much screwed. Enemy hunters are by far the biggest threat you'll face, but they're also the rarest. What aren't rare are all of the PvE enemies which will fuck you up if you aren't constantly paying attention. I won't go through them all, but it's best to avoid them when possible, as at best case scenario, they'll just slow you down and let someone else claim the bounty. Bleeding and burning damage can and will permanently lower your health if you aren't careful, and fall damage is also incredibly harsh. This means that you have to think about every step you take in Hunt Showdown. In most multiplayer games, there are significant periods of downtime. Think Rainbow Six Siege. You have the first 40 or so seconds to prepare, and then the game starts. There are only 5 people on the other team, so most of the time until around the final minute it's comparatively calm, before a very tense finish to the game. Hunt is like the final minute of a Siege game, but for 20 minutes, non-stop. Every single decision you make is important and can have disastrous consequences, either immediately or later down the road. Nothing encapsulates this more than the sound design. Sound is the most important component of this game's design. It's one of very few games to fully utilise binaural audio. Now, I'm far from a tech guru, so all I know is that this means the sound design is top tier, and incredibly accurate in terms of hearing exactly where a sound is coming from. Everything you do in this game makes a noise, and that noise is very loud. Literally, crouching and walking slowly makes a sound. The amount of times I'd be sat in the banishing and I'd hear some slow footsteps around the corner, I would know exactly where they were, how fast they were moving, and what terrain they were on. It's that precise. This also means, though, that everybody else can hear every movement you make. In most scenarios, you will hear your enemies before you see them. Whether you're swapping weapons, climbing, crouching, healing, it makes a sound, and if an enemy hunter is nearby, they will hear it, and they will kill you. So, what happens if you do end up in combat with an enemy team? Well, I first need to make something clear. You've probably already been able to tell this, but I suck at this game. Like, in terms of the shooting, I am unbelievably terrible at it. A good reason for this is that for a long time I was using this Vandal Deadeye weapon, the one with the big scope. It's terrible. It's like it's trying to be a long range weapon, but it can't be because it has too much weapon sway. I don't use that anymore. I use another weapon that I can't remember the name of. I'll probably put it in text on the screen right now. But yeah, I use that weapon instead. I'm much better now. But yeah, this gameplay is mainly from rank 0 to prestige 1. Until I got to level 100, so yeah, keep that in mind. I am a little bit better now, but the point stands that I'm bad at the game. Yet I still win my fair share of fights. The reason for this is that the shooting sucks. Well, that's one reason. The other reason is that I play with a guy who's much better than me at shooting. But yeah, mainly the shooting sucks. It's terrible. But this isn't a bad thing, I'm pretty sure it's by design. This isn't Call of Duty. Having superior gun skill won't guarantee you victory. Positional awareness is far more important. If you can rotate and flank around your enemies, you will most likely win the fight. It's so tense because you know that one well-placed shot from either side will completely turn the tide of battle. If it's a 2v2 like most of your encounters will be, and one player gets killed, their teammate is screwed. Do they go for the revive? Do they run away? Do they hold their ground? What if the other team throw a Molotov on his teammate's body? There isn't a right answer because they're all wrong. More often than not, you will make the wrong choice and you will die. Out of the 12 players in the game, only a maximum of 4 can escape with the bounty, again assuming it's teams of 2. And of the remaining 8, I'd assume at least 4 of those would have died during the match, meaning at best only half the lobby gets out alive. What I will say, and what you've probably already noticed, is that charging at people with a melee weapon is very effective because a heavy attack is an insta-kill. It's hilarious watching people try to run away from me as I charge at them with my axe, or when I was a higher level before I prestige with my harpoon thing, I forgot what it's called. You don't even need to heavy attack with that thing, you can just swing. But the only way to counter this is to have a shotgun, have the perk Horn Skin, or be a very accurate shot, or have Fanning, the perk where you can fire pistol shots really quick. Fanning kills me so many times. It kind of ruins the immersion a bit playing this way, but what do you want me to do? The shooting sucks. Although the ease of death might encourage passive play in other games, passive play won't work here because you need to get to the bounty before anybody else does. Everybody converging on one area of the map for the bounty is provided with my best moments of the game. There have been times where I feel at least 4 other teams are on us right now and you can hear the shots firing and you think, oh my god, was that shot at me? Was it at somebody else? Should we be concerned? Do they know we're here? You don't know the answers, so you're panicking. It's so stressful. But it's fantastic. It becomes a showdown full of tension and tactics which I simply haven't seen in anything else before. I've got over 1,000 hours in Rainbow Six Siege, a game renowned for its tactical combat design, but in terms of the stress and the tactics, it doesn't come close to Hunt. What I will say though, is that the prestige system absolutely sucks. Obviously when you prestige you lose all of your stuff and you have to level up again to unlock it all, but like, you lose everything. You even lose all of your money. Like, what the hell? Every player in the game at this point is so well geared with awesome equipment, so you'll just get absolutely battered again. There is, quite simply, zero reason to prestige other than you don't want the XP to be wasted. But it doesn't really mean anything. I guess this is all personal preference and this is how prestige systems work, but I would they suggest that you should at least get an unlock token, so you can unlock one item permanently each prestige. And you shouldn't lose all of your money. Maybe lose half of it. I feel like that's silly. It's not easy to come by. But again, that's just my opinion, and that's how prestige systems work. Another issue I would say is that the matchmaking is absolutely terrible, and it seems to have got much worse with the latest update. I say latest update, I don't know when this video is going to come out. When I wrote this video, the matchmaking system was terrible, and the last update completely ruined it. I'm Prestige 1 level 40 something, as I mentioned earlier, and the other day I was in a game with a Prestige 44. What on earth? Why am I being matched with players who have got 44 times my skill? By the way, I am playing with skill-based matchmaking turned on, because you can turn it off. I don't know why I want to do that unless you're really good. But you can turn it off, but I have it on. And it still puts me in a match with those players. What makes it even worse is that in that game, there was a player who was Prestige 0 level 40. Like, that poor guy. Hunt is undoubtedly fantastic. Its player base has risen over the past year, but I still feel that it hasn't gotten enough attention, or recognition, in comparison to just how good it is. Hunt isn't my kind of game at all. It's difficult. It's stressful. I hate Perma Death. There are moments when it's downright infuriating. Yet, here I am, pleading with you to give this game a chance and play it. Unless you're going to play solo, this game does not work solo. You need a partner, unless you're willing to spend about 60 hours getting absolutely battered so you can play on your own, but you probably won't. I hate games like Hunt, but I love Hunt. I love it for the same reasons I hate it. You die quick and you're punished harshly. But when you're sat in the extraction zone, having defeated the boss and eliminating a team on the way to safety, watching the timer tick down as the realisation sinks in that you have escaped with the money, the XP, and the sheer satisfaction that you can imagine, well, that's a feeling unlike any other you can get from any multiplayer game. And that is how Hunt Showdown shows us the power of stress in gaming. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, then please consider leaving a like, as it would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more content from me, then make sure to subscribe, because I upload videos just like this one every single Friday. Have a nice day, and goodbye.